one and all, welcome once again to the weekly Professor Mop Top Patreon update video. If I haven't thanked you yet, here's another thank you. As always, I'm going to be sending you, and I'm talking to you, audio, and you're going to be getting cool audio. This week you're going to be getting 3 hunks of audio about 3 very cool songs from the Beatles' For Sale album. Technically, it's 4 songs. Let's talk about it. The first one is a super early Paul McCartney composition called I'll Follow the Sun. He wrote it in 1959, maybe 1960, and the Quarrymen used to perform it. They actually recorded an early version of it when Paul borrowed a reel-to-reel tape recorder from a neighbor, and somehow the tape survived. You'll hear a little clip of that. In October of 1964, when they were trying to find songs to put on the Beatles' For Sale album, they revived the song. They fixed it up a little bit, dusted it off, and they changed it a little bit, quickly recorded it, and then moved on. It's a bit of a negative-sounding song for Paul McCartney, who is generally very upbeat in nature. But then again, I said it's a very, very early song. Even though it is early, there are some naturistic themes, such as the sun and the rain. And in November of 1964, they played the song on the BBC, and it was the last time they would ever play it. The first song's I'll Follow the Sun. The second one is one of the more controversial Beatles songs. It is Mr. Moonlight. If there is such a thing as a deep cut for the Beatles, this might be it. The reason I say it's controversial is some people love it and some people do not love it. I think it's the bee's knees. It's fantastic. In late 1961, a guy named Dr. Feelgood with the Interns released the single. It didn't do very well, but the Beatles got their hands on it. The A side was a song called Dr. Feelgood, and on the B side was Mr. Moonlight, written by one of the guys in the band. Now, the Beatles started playing it live as soon as they discovered it, because they always wanted to play obscure and unusual songs. When they were looking for songs for the Beatles' For Sale album, they knew that they weren't going to have enough original material to cover the entire 2 sides of the album, so they started thinking about those written by other artists, and of course they picked Mr. Moonlight. It took a little time to figure it out. They replaced the guitar solo, which you can hear a chunk of that, with the Hammond organ, which is the finished version. And after they finished recording it, they never played that song live again. Now, one that they played live a lot is Kansas City / Hey 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 Hey. Now, that's a Little Richard cover. In 1952, there was a song called KC Lovin' by Leiber and Stoller. That's Kansas City, Here I Come. In 1955, Little Richard recorded a version of that. Now, in 1959, a guy named Wilbur Harrison, no relation to George, had a #1 hit with that song. Little Richard then re-recorded it. In 1956, Little Richard had a song called Hey 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 Hey. In 1959, when Little Richard re-recorded Kansas City, he medleyed it together with Hey 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 Hey. So the Beatles got their hands on that recording, and they immediately started playing Kansas City, Hey Hey, Hey Hey, in their live act. They played it a lot through 1964. They played it live in Kansas City. You're going to hear a very cool story about how the Beatles dealt with a, shall we say, well, I guess we could say he's the owner of the baseball team. You'll hear a cool story about how the Beatles refused to accept money to play a song and then played it anyway. They performed it one last time for the Saturday Club in late December, and then that was another song that they played live for the last time in late 1964. They were moving so fast at that time that they were just coming up with so much good stuff that they would be able to write songs and move on quickly, and then they would record songs and move on quickly. As 1965 rolled around, they started to think a little bit more about how the studio could be, and how to work in the studio, and how to develop their time in the studio, and how to use it wisely, and how to make better and better and better songs. Remember always, the Beatles were always trying to make better and better and better and better songs. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye and say thank you one last time for the week. I will talk to you again. Thank you as always. I'm Professor Mop Top.